Okay, we've tweaked this lesson just a little bit, so we want to make sure that you do the get pull origin main trick here just to make sure that you have access to the most recent file here, which is going to be this robust systemprompt.ts file here. So the purpose of this particular video is we want to highlight how good prompting can influence how function calls get used. So one of the things, obviously the thing that you need to learn to do first is what we did in the previous lesson with the get weather function. The idea is you just need to learn how to build these tools from scratch. So what I want you to be able to do is kind of have an idea for a function in your head, be able to implement the whole thing, and then you're going to be set. But kind of the skill that we want to stack on top of that is we want to kind of just prod you to get a little bit more skilled with your prompting, a little bit more precise, because the way that you prompt the model, both in the system prompt, okay, at the system prompt level, and in the actual function schema level, those are going to influence how the model has the ability to kind of call the different functions that it has access to. It's going to influence when it acts, how it acts, all that kind of stuff. And we're also going to talk a little bit about how the model itself can influence things, which you'll probably see once we get to some of the more advanced agents. This will become a little bit more prevalent because a lot of the use cases that we're going to be covering in this section are probably still going to be pretty basic. Again, we're just kind of going over conceptual stuff. But once we get to kind of like more production grade stuff, that's when you need some of the power that you get from like a GPT 4.0 compared to a 4.0 mini, things like that. So let's focus on the prompting for now. Let's not get too carried away. So in this particular file here, the robust system prompt file here, what we do is we basically are giving the model access to two tools. Okay, we're calling these storage tools. And this is very similar to the memory lesson or the functions that we were using in the memory SQL lesson. So we have a get storage and an add storage function. So all this does is if we go up to the top here, you'll see we have this mock content. So this is kind of similar to the mock weather data array that we were using in the get weather lesson. The idea here is that we just have three pieces of and I just used random facts about Mars with some dates. The idea is that we want to be able to fetch some content based on the date here. So we say hey, get me all of the information for October 3rd. It should theoretically add that, or it should basically filter this array based on that date and give us the right information. Okay, so it's pretty similar to how the get weather function works. It's just instead of this getting weather, we're getting random arbitrary pieces of text from a content array, and we also have the ability to add to it. Okay, so pretty straightforward here. You'll see if we go below, we're just using GPT 4.0 mini. Like I said, pretty simple use case here. You can see that the function definitions pretty precise. Okay, we give an example of the input. You can see, we redefine our required variables here, or required properties. We have a difference in naming that's very clear, right? Again, this is a pretty simple use case, so we don't need to get too cute, just like I said in the last lesson. So what we do want to highlight here, however, is that the way that you prompt this model, the way that you prompt this agent is going to affect the results. So let me show you what I mean by that. So what we're going to do here, we're going to right click this. We're going to copy the relative path and we're going to run this program. Okay, so this file is going. You can see we have the ability to enter some text here. So I'm just going to say hi. Okay, pretty common. People just start chatting with the AI. And I want to say what was said on October 3rd. And what you'll see here is you'll see getting storage for 2023-10-3. Okay, so what's happening here is on the user experience side, right? I'm basically saying, hey, what was said on October 3rd, and the model is not giving me a response, okay? And that's because what's happening here, if we go down to the get storage here, right, we're doing something very similar to what we did in that get weather lesson, which is that we're doing a find here, but what's happening is we only have dates for October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of 2024. So what's happening here is the model's actually getting the year entirely wrong, and you have to understand this is a totally natural thing for the model to do. It's not necessarily getting something wrong. It's just it doesn't have any context on what we need. So one of the ways we could get around this, for example, is if we actually jumped to our conversation history here, and we added the role of system. Okay, so basically, if we gave this a system prompt here, what we want to do is we want to add a little message here. Okay, and I do actually recommend you follow along with this. Is that we're going to add today's date is, and then what this is going to do is this is going to add the current date. Okay, so the way this is going to affect things is now this date's actually going to have the current year, and what's going to happen is we're essentially prompting the agent with a little bit of context, right? Just the slightest amount of context possible, which is just the current date, and it's going to almost be able to infer sort of like how a human would. If I'm asking for the data on October 3rd, it's probably going to infer that if I'm not specifying a year, I probably want the one that's right near me, right? So let's actually go Control C out of this here. We're going to run this again now that we have the system prompt here. And we're going to get the same query here, so I'm just going to copy and paste this. What was said on October 3rd, and if I hit return, you'll see this time we actually get 2024 as the year, and the AI is able to go fetch that data right from the function call and then generate us an answer. So by just tweaking the prompt ever so slightly with a date, we were kind of able to get something behaving a little bit more how we actually would want it to behave in the real world, right? Another good example of this, right, is if I actually just, let's put this on a new line really quick because I'm going to comment it out. We're going to comment this line out just so I can demonstrate something for you really quick here. What we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to restart our program, of course, because we changed our code. And we're just going to say, please save this, this code for October 4th. And we're just going to say pizza. I don't know. We're trying to keep things simple here. And you'll see again, it does the 2023 thing here. And what's going to happen is if we say get the data for October 4th, 2024, you're going to see the storage data is not found. Okay, so what we would kind of want is we would want the model to infer that I probably, just like I did previously, that we wanted that data for the date that was near me, right? And so if we do this again, now that we've added the system message back, we uncommented that and restarted things, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, you're going to see again, it's going to go to 2024. Okay, and this can be applied to all sorts of different things here, right? One of the things that we could do to give you another example of how prompting can affect things is we should say, let's say for ad storage, things, let's say content should only be added if the content is a fact about Mars and it's for October. We'll even say October 2024. So check this out. So what's going to happen here is we run our program again. I'm going to say, I want you to remember, and this actually might, hang with me here for a second. I want you to remember that I really like to race cars. Okay, and you'll see the model is actually not going to store anything. It's not going to call this add storage function because the model's saying, okay, I can't store any personal information like that. What it's really doing is just trying to reason why it's not actually calling the function, and that's kind of the explanation it came up for you. But if I say something like, please store that Mars today is, and I have no idea what the temperature of Mars, we'll say 150 F Fahrenheit here, you'll see this actually did add to storage. So because in the description of our function, we changed basically what was permissible to be added, it actually went ahead and updated the storage successfully. Whereas if we say like, please store that my favorite color is green, right, it's probably going to fail here because it's only storing things about Mars. Again, if I say, and interesting thing here, you'll see it added the storage for 2024 1019. That's because as we're recording this right now, it's actually injecting that into the system prompt. So again, this is another example of how changing the system prompt and the descriptions in your actual function schemas are going to affect things, right? So I just really wanted to make this video and insert this into the course really quick, because the way that you prompt all of these different things does matter. You can see categorically, right? Like if we do something like, if I reset this and say, please store a fact about Mars for November, it's going to refuse here because it can actually only store facts for October. Okay. So this is how you really start getting the model under the hood to decide when it can call functions, when it should, how it should handle different behaviors and edge cases. You could use this to kind of hone the UX of the model, right? We demonstrated earlier with the date thing, right? Some of the user experience wasn't so good because it was trying to automatically infer a previous year, things like that. So a lot, we'll write much more complex function descriptions here, and we'll write much more complex system prompts, again, down the road in the course when we get to some of the more advanced agents. But I do think that this example really kind of isolates and highlights how even just very small differences in prompting can radically influence how your agent ends up making its function calls. So that's just something that I want you to start being aware of, kind of commit that to memory, and get better at practicing that, because if you stack what you learned in this lesson with the kind of fundamental basics from the previous lessons, that's how you get really good at starting to build some of these tools. And building really good AI agents is just so dependent on your ability to write really robust prompts and build out all these different function calls. So let's move on to the next video.